What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as Ra. His name is Superafim. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Thor. His name is Brickhead. The map is Watering Hole, and this is a best of 5 for the quarterfinals of the Challengers League tournament. Champions League, Challengers League. This is the league where basically the players who win this league will go on to then play the bottom of the Champions League for an opportunity to get an invite into Champions League Season 4 when that comes around. So it's a pretty important thing. There's also prize pool on the line as well. So it's going to be an exciting time to see these guys pulling it off. This is actually one of the first games we've seen Brickhead playing Thor seriously in this tournament. He's obviously not messing around anymore. He's not going in with his off-civ picks. He's a very, very strong Thor player. He's been playing Thor for many years, and he's been taking games off many different players here. And I'm fairly sure he's going to be knowing that Superafim is only going to be playing Ra in this series. Most likely, we might see Superafim pulling out an Isis here or there, depending on the map. But Superafim has been fairly vocal recently about his dislike of playing Isis in certain maps and his dislike of Set. He's definitely an Egyptian player, and he says he really enjoys the Ra. He's been having a lot of success with the Ra, so he's going to be sticking with it for the most part. You'd have to imagine in this for this tournament, and we'll see how things are going to go. But the map is Watering Hole. So what are we going to see here? What are the kind of ideas that these players are going to go for? So we'll start with the Ra side of things. Ra's got 2 really, really strong options that he can go with. So Ra's first option against Norse, kind of underrated, but very, very strong. A little bit on the cheese side of things, but it depends on what sort of strategy you go for, how cheese it is, and how much your opponent has to read in to that strategy to actually find yourself a victory. That strategy is to go through Bast with several monuments and make yourself Sphinx. You can go for classical fights with the Sphinx. You can do a heroic age timing with Sphinx and Petsukos. You can go for a mythic age timing with a tornado into Avengers and Chariot Archers. There's lots of different options you can go for with the Ra Bast. The second option, a little bit more safe, a little bit more sound, a little bit more difficult for the Norse player to kind of defend, not necessarily defend against, but beat, is the fast second town center. Now, generally speaking, if you're playing as Egyptian, especially if you can get a town center that's got fantastic hunt on it, you probably should be trying to go for it. So this town center in the middle of the map here for Superafim is an absolute dream, but the back town center is also nothing to snob at because you get this fantastic back gold mine here. This gold mine here is going to be absolutely amazing for Superafim. He's going to be able to have the wood here, the town center, the gold. Everything is nice and safe back on this location as we are seeing Tar coming through here. Nice and fast for Superafim. Houses coming up to defend his gold mine. It's a very, very open gold mine on the front here, and this could be very dangerous for him. But with that back gold mine back here, if he grabs this town center, he should be completely fine to any sort of early aggression. As Brickhead, he's decided to advance a considerable amount later than Superafim has. Now, we've talked about this a little bit throughout this tournament in the Norse mirror. Advancing fast, if there's nothing that you need to defend, tends to not be the safest way to play when you want to be playing on the defensive. So, for example, if you're playing this in a Norse mirror, you might want to say, I've got these hippo in my main base. There's nothing I have to worry about. I can advance a little bit later, get a few more resources, and get some more Herso started as before you're advancing and find yourself in a very nice position. Now, we're seeing that happen here for Brickhead with the idea of grabbing a second town center here. It seems as his units are starting to get into that position. And we do indeed see Superafim going for the safe back town center here. We'll see how that's going to go for him. The wall's already up on this position by Brickhead. He's very, very very sneaky. I love that play blocking off these Gazelle here. So we'll see how that's going to go and what sort of a reaction Superafim's going to have for that. But he's already getting his Shadoof. He's already getting his Plow. So it's clear to me that he's going to be going for a fast farm here. Does he have himself Pickaxe? He's also already got Pickaxe here in this game. So he's well and truly on his way to a nice start here. With Brickhead grabbing a fast second town center here, this will give Superafim all of the safety. He's going to feel very, very happy. He's like, okay, I don't have to worry about my gold mine here. Brickhead's going for a second town center. He doesn't have to build a barracks and defend against like mass raiding cavalry running in here and running amok. No problems here for Superafim, and he's going to be happy. But Brickhead is still being a menace. He's putting walls up all over the place. His Valkyrie is now coming in, and we'll see how he's going to be able to deal with the huge economy that's going to be coming for him. So while the fast rain here by Superafim will give him an initial boost and an initial advantage in terms of overall resources, the amount of resources you spend in building the farms does have to come into that equation to some degree. So if, for example, Superafim was to stay on the hunt, he would obviously spend a significant less amount of resources on these farms. So he's built 12 farms at 47 gold. That's a considerable amount of investment into farms, plus Plow, plus Shadoof, plus the favor. All of these things should be coming into the consideration. So while he's getting a lot of resources now, and it's definitely always going to be a good thing, he might want to consider whether or not he stays on the farms after this to keep on boosting his economy into the stratosphere. So we'll see what he's going to try and do here, whether he decides to go for like a pretty big chariot archer push, or if he's going to stay on these farms and try and go into cavalry or spearmen or something like that in the heroic age, considering he should be knowing that Brickhead on 2 town centers already is going to be in a very, very nice position. We actually see Brickhead here looking like he is also going for a 2 town center fast heroic, just like Superafim is. However, Brickhead is getting there arguably a little bit faster here. So a really, really nice opening for Brickhead, and we're going to be probably seeing Skadi. Yep, Skadi is the god of choice. So the big question is, how is Brickhead going to be using this? He's not playing as Odin. Odin's got a huge advantage over Thor in that the hill fort units you can get out are really, really strong. But Thor does have the economic advantage and the armory advantage over Odin. So we'll see if he goes into those armory upgrades nice and fast, or what he's going to go with that sort of idea. As the walls starting to come up here as well for Brickhead, that's another big advantage of Norse, is you can get these walls down significantly faster than your opponent. And Superafim here, he hasn't even left his base. He is just saying, I'm happy sitting in here and just playing in my little bubble, and Brickhead's like, I'm going to just keep you in that bubble, and you're not only are you going to be stuck in that bubble, but you're also not going to be able to get an easy trade route set up. You have to kill off these walls first, which is probably not going to be that big of a deal, but you're going to have to do that, and Superafim's going to be constricted here in this game. He's not going to be able to get out of his base all too easily, which should give Brickhead a considerable amount of time here to play with, as he is happily hunting all over the place. Now, the big difficulty for Brickhead here is because he didn't go through Forseti, he doesn't have a fantastic defense against the rock. Now, we've seen this by players like Matrius in the past, where he's building trolls literally to just counter the rock, because that if you build two trolls, you can fairly simply kill a rock flying around. Superafim at this point is going to be searching around the map, trying to find something to Locust. Locust, heroic age god power, can kill anywhere in the vicinity of 0 villages, upwards of, I've seen 30 villages getting killed. It's a rare occurrence, but it is possible. At this point, we're seeing Brickhead. He's got himself 7 villages on this location. Over here, we see houses coming down in the corner there for Brickhead as well. Villages well spread out at the moment. He's got the villages on the gold tier as well. He can spread those dwarves out, as we do see the rock coming in, and Superafim does decide to drop that Locust there. He picks off 2 villages, picking off a 3rd one here as well. But the Frost Giant comes in here and freezes the Patsukos. Will Superafim be able to pull that one out? I'm pretty sure the Frost Giant kills that before all is said and done. So while a couple of villagers fall there, Brickhead's going to be in a fantastic position now. He's also got that middle town center up as well. Full control in this game after all is said and done, as the Rock does manage to pick up the Patsukos there, and the Frost Giant here not going to be able to finish that one off. So Superafim able to get away with it, still going to be able to create his pressure. We don't see any watchtowers up in the main base for Brickhead to dissuade that rock from flying in, but no more worry about the locust coming down to pick off 1 million units, as we've already got stone walls here for Brickhead to help delay the Superafim army as they come in to try and break down the stone gate. We see a barracks coming up here as well. Brickhead's got himself a ton of Olsark out, which is going to be a really big help. Also, armory upgrades have started coming through for Brickhead. His economy a little bit behind that of Superafim at this point. A significant amount behind, actually. I'm not sure exactly what's happened there, considering he's been on the 2 town centers for so long, but villagers coming out here, he obviously has to get himself dwarves, which take a little bit longer to train, so his villagers are a little bit more valuable than Superafim's here, as Superafim trying to break through here. He's got the siege tower out. There is still frost available, but whether or not Brickhead wants to use it at this point remains to be seen. He's trying to get up his hill forts and sit in a defensive position here as the Rock does find the dwarves on this position. Nothing over there to defend that one at this point, though. There's the Frost Giant coming in as the Frost does get dropped down. More walls coming up here as well on this position. I love these walls here from Brickhead as well. There are 2 siege towers on this position to kind of knock these walls down, but Brickhead's going to be able to completely trap this army in here, as we do see the Frost Giant comes through, manages to pick off the Patsukos, and now the Rock has got to pick up the Wadjet and leave here, as we see yet another, we say temple, I thought that was another hill fort there, as Brickhead here pumping out those beautiful Huskarls, but now Superafim is going in with his own Axemen at this point. That's going to be a huge help at this point here as well, as the Rock flies back over. The Wadjet going to continue to harass around here. Brickhead's Frost Giant has got to be careful, or should be tracking that a little bit here at this point, but we see the shifting sands coming in here by Superafim. This is a huge play as he comes through. The villagers are going to be trying to shank down all these units as best as they can. The Pharaoh over here coming through as well to shank this one, as the units here getting taken out beautifully. How much is left here? Not very much, and now Brickhead can go after the main base with his army, or kind of try and set himself up here as the rest of these units are falling. But Brickhead at this point, he's at 53 villages. He really didn't lose that much here in the slightest, as the Huskarl and everything else can be able to finish off that watchtower, or siege tower I should say, as the Wadjet comes through and trying to take out a couple more units, but it looks like Brickhead is completely fine here at this point. Superafim's dropped down to 112 population. Brickhead in the lead at this moment with his full infantry army here. Superafim needs to drop some barracks down and make those axemen out in huge spades here, as we see Superafim taking a look over here. How does he get through onto this market? Answer, he's got to shank through these stone walls here. We'll see what Brickhead's going to do as he's continuing to put the pressure on. He's got no food in the bank for the time being here. This Rock just flying on this position, not able to do anything anymore with the Rock, as Brickhead is like, all right, going to just pull back here for the time being. There's still a lot of hunt on this map all around the place that Brickhead can jump onto if he so chooses. He's got all these gazelle here. He can put these villagers onto this hunt here and try and race towards some sort of a food-based army, some sort of upgrades on that army, and continue here in a strong position. As the Brickhead army going to pull back for the time being. Frost Giant popping out here as well by Brickhead, as the Rock going to be moving back on this position as well. And we'll see what Superafim can do here to survive. As Osiris is coming through, there's no frost remaining, which does make it tough for Brickhead to hold. The best counter to Son of Osiris for Norse is Ballister, but it can be quite difficult to chase the Ra 2 town center play, as we see farms coming up here by Brickhead. Why does he go onto the... He must be missing those hunt there. He should be eating those before the farms coming up, but lots of wood in the bank obviously for Brickhead, and he seems to be panicking just a little bit with that one as the unit's coming in. But Ballister, if Brickhead can get there, he's going to easily be able to prevent Superafim from pushing out of his base with that Son of Osiris. But if he doesn't get there, that Son of Osiris can be a very, very difficult unit to deal with as the siege works coming up on this position as well. As we'll see what Brickhead's plan is going to be. He's got 67 villages. He's starting the trade route up, just sitting back as best as he can, trying to get further and further in front in this game. There will be immediately catapults coming for these buildings of Brickhead. And Superafim is not going to be ready to deal with that just yet. Those axemen here, heavy axemen, there's no answer for those at this moment with Superafim's army. For Brickhead's army, as Superafim has to retreat back for the time being. Another hill fort going to be attempting to get thrown up here as Brickhead is trying to get himself to the Mythic Age, and we'll see what his choice is going to be. We do see a handful of units have made it through here as the military units coming through for Brickhead on this sea here, going to be able to harass that gold mine here, stop the trade route as well. Nice play where that's concerned. As the catapult coming through, those hill forts could start targeting the Son of Osiris down to get a little bit of damage done as the hill fort for Brickhead coming up here. We see Bronze Mail coming through as well. That's going to be a big help as that Son of Osiris does now start getting targeted down by the hill forts. That's absolutely huge. Superafim does notice that, but he's getting caught out by his own army as he takes a little bit too much damage there. The catapult's still taking down those hill forts. One of the hardest parts about playing Thor is playing on the defensive, losing your buildings here. We'll see if Brickhead's going to be able to work that one out as his Huskar push through onto this position, still trying to take out the Son of Osiris. The villagers over here have been dealt with. Bronze Mail coming through now for Superafim as well as Brickhead pulls back, and it looks like Superafim is making a very strong comeback in this position, but he's now gold starved as the villagers are going to be pushing through here to try and grab that center gold mine as Brickhead trying to pump units out. Imagine if Brickhead had managed to hit the Mythic Age here instead of having to pump all these units out. He probably could have just pulled back a little bit, and a Ragnarok pushing straight through that middle of the map, taking out the gold mine would have been huge here. But Brickhead on the back foot, will see what he can do as the army of Superafim incredibly strong at this point here. Brickhead's army just dying like flies to the Son of Osiris as the villagers now sitting in the center of this map on that large gold mine. The catapults are now going to be moving straight for the town center over here as Superafim is spreading his army out finally after all of this time being able to be unleashed on the map. Brickhead doesn't have any walls set up on the backside of the map either, but Balder has now been clicked up with 82 villages at this moment. The problem is there's no buildings for the time being here for Brickhead. He's lost a lot of his production at this moment, trying to make some Ulfsarks out. Villagers getting taken out here as well as the Chariot Archer is going to be finding them. Brickhead has to keep all of his units safe here. Plenty of resources in the bank here as Bronze Weapons of Thor coming in. Villagers still getting pumped out as well as the town center about to be taken out on that position. Meanwhile, we see the walls are up. There's no trade route available for Superafim, so a Ragnarok here will be incredibly effective. Even though normally against Ra, it can be a little bit tough to make it work. 482 gold in the bank here for Superafim. He's chucking up the Migdol stronghold. The villagers moving forward to grab the town center for himself as those Chariot Archers chasing villagers around, trying to slow this down. We see Iron Mail coming through here for Brickhead. He's going to get all of those armory upgrades as he is he's just waiting. He can't do anything at this moment. He's waiting for that Ragnarok. He's got 99 favor in the bank as well as a hill fort going to be coming through here as more villagers getting taken out. We'll see if Brickhead can survive here. He's got 16 ox caravans going at the moment as well as this town center is about to fall. The Ulfsarks queuing up on this position, getting pulled back. The villagers getting pulled back. Balder is 92% of the way through here as more villagers falling. Every villager that falls here is going to be hurting this Ragnarok immensely here. There's the Ragnarok down. The Son of Osiris getting pulled back. Walls coming up on this position. Watchtowers coming through here as well. The town center over here gets denied by the heroes of Ragnarok here by Brickhead. Brickhead's at 275 population as the forest fire getting dropped down on this location to open up the gold mine on this position as well. Catapults getting taken down. The Son of Osiris getting pushed back over here as well as the Rag heroes pulling through here. Armory upgrades here for Brickhead. Nearly full iron. He's just missing the iron weapons and iron shields here. He's also got the resources to get that shield upgrade as the Brickhead heroes of Ragnarok's coming around, going to start bashing away. This Son of Osiris coming very close to falling here in this game. And it looks like Superafim's not even trying to defend that. Drops back into the Migdol stronghold, but is almost being taken out in the main base here of Brickhead. He's got those Ox caravans going. Units over here getting taken out as the gold villagers coming over onto this position. There's still the transport ship here as well. If Brickhead wants to send some units over into that corner here, he's going to be able to do that. That's the only other gold mine that Superafim can grab for the time being. 209 population now remaining for Brickhead as he's still got this town. He's got the town center coming back up. He's still got the trade rack going. Did he get himself coinage? He has got coinage coming through. Villagers retreating back now for the time being. Can Superafim weather the storm here or not is the big question. As Brickhead, is he sending anything through this transport ship? It looks like he hasn't, as now some gold income is going to be coming through for Superafim. Superafim will be able to repopulate his army here, most likely if Brickhead cannot work this one out to get onto that corner as the mummy trying to push through and taking out the fire giant there. He manages to do so. Great play there by Superafim as Brickhead has to retreat back here for the time being. Villagers moving up to the top corner of the map. There is Hunt over here. Will there be a gold mine? I'm pretty sure there was only one gold mine back here as Superafim is desperately hoping for that to be working for himself as the Ragnarok hero is coming through, going to bash down the mummy over here. There's nothing on this position, but the villagers can push in and potentially take out a market as well as Brickhead pulls back. Handfuls of Heroes of Ragnaroks are all over the place as the villagers are desperately searching around. But Brickhead, I mean, he's probably his best bet is to just pull back, get the town center, and start making, yes, Ballista are going to be huge here for Brickhead to take out those heroes, to take out those heavy axemen, I should say, as the villagers are now in on this position here. Will Brickhead be able to notice this or not is the big question. Fire Giants getting created as well for Brickhead with the follow-up as the units pulling back onto this position to try and grab this town center here. As the Fire Giants can get some good damage done on this position. And we do see Superafim back into the middle of the map. It's 60 villages to Brickhead's 30-ish villages at the moment. So Superafim definitely has the advantage. Walls are now up though, and that's going to be huge. That's huge by Superafim to have snuck through there with the villagers. Those ox caravans idle at this point. There is a possibility here for Brickhead to just throw down a market over here or something if he so chooses. As the units coming over here see the villagers, Brickhead not paying attention with that army for the time being as the Fire Giant does turn around. The Heroes of Ragnarok are going to come through there and try and deal with that as the units on this position still cleaning up all of what Brickhead has created. Brickhead's at 139 of 160 population as his economy completely shut down. The Heroes of Ragnarok trying to take down buildings on this position as well as the priests coming through here. The Fire Giants in a great position to deny everything as the villagers coming through onto this position to find a gold mine, but the Heroes of Ragnarok chasing that down. More Fire Giants coming out here as the walls have been dealt with. Ox caravans need to get sent to their they need to get sent on their way here as Brickhead is trying desperately to stay alive here. The champion chariots searching for gold villages here. There are dwarves on this position, but the Fire Giants coming over here to deal with that those units on that position there as well. Brickhead's got to be careful not to lose those ballista here. They are vitally important. As the villagers now in the middle of the map grabbing the gold mine. Yet again, the ox caravans started up as well as dwarves getting cleaned up. Fire Giants chasing those away. Ballista getting pulled back here as the Fire Giant's going to be able to take down those axemen nicely here. Brickhead's got himself some villagers back up. It's still kind of in the favor of Superafim in terms of villagers here, but Superafim is losing stuff in this game as the Chariot Archers do find some villagers on the farms over here. I'd love to see yet another attempt by Superafim to send some villagers forward and wall off that position yet again. As he done it once, why not do it again? But now Ballista Fire Giant has been constructed here by Brickhead as the villagers getting pushed back. There's still no attempt at attacking this gold mine as Superafim definitely having a lot of success where that's concerned as the dwarves getting pulled over onto this gold mine onto the front of the position here as now the Fire Giants can go after the middle Migdol stronghold. There's still a handful of priests here by Superafim. We'll see how long those are going to be able to last for in these fights as the Fire Giants clean up pretty much everything here, but it does look like Brickhead is being a little bit overzealous here with his Fire Giants getting taken down by priests of Ra. It's not something you see all too often, but now we do have those Huskars coming through taking out Chariot Archers. There's no axemen to slow them down anymore as it looks like Brickhead has managed to break through onto this position. Villagers trying to grab this gold mine over here as well, grabbing this gold mine here as well as Brickhead trying to push push through the middle of the map. There is this town center to be grabbed, and Superafim says it's time for me to grab it, as Sons of Sleipnir coming through here for Brickhead to try and help with his raiding cavalry on these fights to deal with the chariot archers. As the ballista, they do spot the town center coming up. A couple of raiding cavalry going to come through here. Sons of Sleipnir still not in. The fire giant coming onto this position here to try and deal with that, but it looks like he's just going to target down the town center instead. Meanwhile, in the center of the map, it does look like Brickhead has won on that position with his army here as the chariot archers retreating back. We do see the town center going down. Villagers moving up to the top position of the map, might try and get back over onto that gold mine yet again, as this one raiding cavalry will get taken out here by those champion chariot archers here. Superafim with lots of resources in the bank is not really spending them all too well at this point, as I mean Brickhead's in a tough position here. He's got a lot of resources himself, but he needs so many more military buildings here. He really needs to be putting those down, as the dwarves do get spotted here. The fire giant's going to come over here to deal with this as well. What else can Brickhead really do? We now see the trade started for Superafim. He's trying to get sorted on this game, as the champion chariots here going to get cleaned up by the fire giant. The dwarves getting pulled back. Town center on the way here, as the villagers on this position getting chased down by raiding cavalry, as it does look like one villager might be making its way through, and we see yet again the wall is coming up. Brickhead didn't put the effort into walling this gap up on that position there, and that's going to be putting a real big strain onto Brickhead's economy here, as the ox caravans get pushed back. Meanwhile, the town center here is not going to be getting finished for the time being. A couple of units are out again for Brickhead here. He's got lots of resources in the bank. 60 favor here for the fire giants, as the mummy coming through going to start taking down those fire giants, as Superafim finally gets that sorted, as the rag hero is pulling away. We do see, oh no, this is as bad as it's going to get them. The ox caravans don't go idle, and now they're making their way through Superafim's base. We'll see if Brickhead notices that or not in the meantime here, as he can't really put the effort into rebuilding those. He can't be losing them here. We'll see if he's going to lose them all as they move straight through the base. They can kind of, if there was a gate here, they could kind of make their way through in a way, as war elephants coming through as well. The fire giants getting dealt with. The mummy has picked off 2 fire giants here thus far, as it looks like Superafim has managed to make himself an army. And Brickhead here retreating back. He's got himself the Ulf Jarls out. He's got himself the raiding cavalry. How does he deal with a war elephant, as his ox caravans getting cleaned up, not paying attention to those ox caravans, as Superafim gets the wall on that position beautifully. Brickhead trying to come through with those dwarves to shank this down, as the army now pushes in onto this position. Brickhead pulls back. He does have a lot of dwarves out, so it's not like it's game over here for Brickhead by any stretch of the imagination. He's still got a gold mine. He's still got a market up. He's still got units up, but Superafim here grabbing this town center does mean it's going to be a long road ahead here for Brickhead. How are the armory upgrades looking here for Superafim? He's nearly full bronze, whereas still Brickhead's at the same amount of armor upgrades he was pre-Ragnarok, as Thundering Hooves coming through as well. We do see the town center. It's got those priests on it as well, as the army going to be swarming onto this position by Brickhead. We'll see if those raiding cavalry Jarl composition here can break through this army, as the ballast are going to try and come over here and put a stop to the town center going up for a little while. And it does look like Superafim's army here is going to be falling for the time being. There's still this transport ship and longboats here that are causing population problems for Brickhead, but I guess he doesn't mind at this position as the town center comes up, but Superafim's population drops yet again back down to 110, and I'm pretty sure Brickhead can just tear this town center down, putting a complete stop to it. There's still 10 camel caravans out for Superafim, as Brickhead can send his raiding cavalry through and clean up those villages over here as well, giving himself an advantage where that's concerned, as we see yet another wall attempting to come up here by Superafim, but this one's not going to do as much value as the other one would, as we do see that war elephant falling on this position. The town center at this point does have masons, sun-dried mud brick. We see some mercenary cavalry coming out here as well, as Brickhead spots the villages. If he picks off villages, it's always going to be a a massacre of villagers for your Norse play. He's like, I want to kill villagers, kill villagers, kill villagers. As he comes through, we see Winter Harvest now coming through for Brickhead to help out that economy as he is almost getting stabilized. What is the plan here for Superafim as he decides to start making some catapults? We do see the medium spearmen coming through here. If you see spearmen in the late game as Norse, my recommendation is to start making Ulfsarks as well, as we do see some raiding cavalry going to try and snipe down those catapults. Their villagers retreating back here as well. A couple more buildings trying to come up for Brickhead as he's pumping units incredibly well into the middle of the map here. And the town center here will be falling, it seems, as Superafim 98 population cannot stay alive in this game. At this moment here, it seems the town center still standing strong. Villagers in the center of the map grabbing this gold mine, as well as the camel caravan numbers slowly starting to tick up here. As those spearmen getting cleaned up, and now the fire giant comes in to try and put a stop to the town center, killing that one off by itself, as the units say of Brickhead says, I don't even care, let's keep pushing forward. There needs to be some houses thrown up somewhere at this point, as we do see Brickhead chucking them up in his main base, converting an Ulfsark there nicely. Brickhead also could start getting himself some more armory upgrades, getting himself champion, infantry champion, cavalry can start coming through, as well as the villagers trying to retreat back through on this gap. If Brickhead pays attention, he might be able to put a stop to those retreating. And Superafim, in that moment, does tap out as Brickhead's army, too strong in this game. The Ragnarok able to keep Brickhead from that mid-game kind of power spike that comes from Osiris. Ragnarok keeps him in this game. He manages to have the trade route started, so it's not an all-in Ragnarok at all, and he's able to get himself back into this game with some incredibly nice walling, some incredibly nice attacks over here as well. I think the wall was restarted over here or finished back up by Brickhead as the trade route cannot continue, it seems. Really, really nice play here from Brickhead, getting that first win in this game. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.